Ever wonder how the Canadian government works? Let's begin with the basics. Canada is a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy. That means we have a king. Hey there, King Charles III. But he's more of a symbolic figurehead, leaving the heavy lifting to our elected representatives and his representatives, the Governor General. So how does it all come together? Well, at the federal level, we've got three branches of government: the executive, legislative, and judicial. The executive branch is headed by the Prime Minister, who is kind of like the captain of the ship. They are responsible for running the country's day-to-day and making big decisions, like what to do during a pandemic or how to handle climate change. And that's the reason to vote. Ensure the Prime Minister and their party will work hard to protect the planet we all rely on. Within the executive branch, there's also the cabinet, which is composed of senior MPs chosen by the Prime Minister. The role is to advise the Prime Minister on policy decisions, oversee the implementation of government programs, and manage specific government departments or portfolios. Essentially, they're the Prime Minister's trusted team of advisors and decision makers. Next up, we've got the legislative branch, which is where all the action happens in Parliament. We've got two houses, the House of Commons and the Senate. The House of Commons is where members of Parliament, or MPs, gather to debate laws, propose new policies, and represent the interests of their constituents, the people who live in their electoral districts, commonly known as ridings. MPs are elected by people within their ridings to represent them in Parliament. And then there's the Senate, which acts as a kind of check and balance on the House of Commons. Senators are appointed, not elected, and they review legislations passed by the House of Commons to make sure it's fair and in the best interest of all Canadians. Last but not least, we've got the judicial branch, which includes all courts in the land. They interpret and enforce the laws made by Parliament, ensuring everyone plays by the rules. So when does voting happen? Typically, the elections are held every 4 years, but the Prime Minister has the authority to request an election earlier if they believe it's necessary or advantageous to the party. Additionally, a majority vote of non-confidence in the House of Commons can trigger an election if no alternative government is able to secure the confidence of the House. Confidence of the House is the ability of the government to maintain the support and trust of the majority of members of Parliament in the House of Commons. If the government loses a vote of confidence, typically on a significant issue such as the budget or a major policy proposal, it is expected to resign. This could lead to the formation of new government or the calling of an election if no alternative government can secure the confidence of the House. Why is it important to vote? It is important to vote, especially for young people to vote, because the voices and perspectives represented in votes have the greatest impact on the policies and direction of the country. Voting ensures that people have a platform where they can advocate for issues that directly affect them and ensure their interests are represented in government decisions. Voting is a duty that we all have to maintain the legitimacy of democracy. So there you have it, the Canadian government in a nutshell. It may seem complex, but hey, it's all about working together to build a better, brighter future for all Canadians. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be sitting in the Prime Minister's chair, making those big decisions. The sky's the limit.